This podcast is rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Some material may not be suitable for children.
Did Timmy practice his theme song singing? Is he ready to do it?
Go on, Timmy.
No, I don't even remember what the theme song is.
Come on. How could you not?
I don't think I could do it alone. I need your guidance.
You need guidance?
Ridiculous.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. That's
There
it.
you go.
That's it, Timmy. He's got it.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's right.
1981. 36th best movie of all time. And it's coming out, like we're doing this episode, right when the 5th Indiana Jones movie. They're still making these things.
The Dial of Destiny,
I mean,
because they thought that was a good title.
Uh-huh. And spoilers
Is that really what it
for
is?
that one.
Wow.
There's apparently time travel in that one.
Oh,
Time
weird.
travel.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Why time travel?
Because you think like aliens are pretty
Dude,
stupid.
what about plus in
and-
a whole alternate universe? Because that's always good. You can have a universal reset kind of thing. So,
Oh, true. Then it like brings open a way, other
multiple
ways to go.
indies.
Yeah, right. I see.
Dude,
what
we're
you-
going to do the fight themes, and the fight scenes are going to be like scattered in terms of their frame rate, man, because that's cool. now.
Oh,
The
they're
cool
gonna.
kids
They're
are doing
gonna.
modern.
Are you trying to make a Spider-Verse?
yeah,
disc?
but we're going to do it with live action. It's going to be awesome.
Hey, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, see? Tell you.
Anyone see Ratatouille? No, never.
I like
mind.
that one.
Hey,
Yeah.
good.
But there's something about
Raiders
these
of the
three
Lost
movies. Raiders.
Go on.
These first three movies, they're all kind of ridiculous because they have this whole religious aspect to it. But there's something that's easier to buy, I think, in these first three where we're talking about like God and religions that already exist because it's kind of so ingrained in reality. Where when you get to, not to be talking about the fourth and fifth ones, but once you get into aliens and time travel, it's kind of like, the fuck you guys doing? It's not what we're doing here.
Yeah, I see
remember
what you mean.
Nothing about the one. I don't even
The
remember
fourth
the
one.
title. What is it called? What was the title of the
Kingdom
fourth
of the
one?
Crystal Skull.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There we go. Okay, now I
Wow.
remember that. And yeah, that's all I remember about that
Oh,
one.
man, you are lucky, John. I wish
I
I
know.
was there. You don't
Is
remember
it
the
that
new?
bad?
There's a
Is it
scene-
that bad?
It's bad. It's so
Oh
bad.
man.
These
So
movies
is
are
it
great.
just like a Terminator thing, where like you just can't once it's over, once the initial draw is over, there's just no way to keep it,
I don't know. They did three. They did three good ones, I think. The first three Spielberg
Temple of
ones.
Doom was like,
Yeah, I
okay.
guess that's more than Terminator.
Yeah.
So there you go.
yeah.
Temple of Doom's
I don't
fine.
know.
It's definitely good. It's way better than Crystal Skull. Holy shit. Crystal Skull
It
is Spielberg's worst movie. He did it. It's the worst thing he's ever done. It's worse than the second Jurassic Park movie, in my opinion. There's
Wow.
a scene in it
Fair
where he
enough.
goes to a nuclear test site and a bomb's about to go
Yeah,
off.
he hides in
and
the
he
fridge,
hides in a
right?
refrigerator and gets blown like miles inside the refrigerator and just rolls out and he's fine.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
mean, that sounds pretty good.
Shia
I don't know.
LaBeouf swings through vines with monkeys during a car chase scene through the jungle.
Wow.
that's right.
Wow.
And at the end, they uncover a crystal skull, I guess, and then the temple turns into an alien spaceship, and it kind of goes
Right.
up into
then
there,
they-
and then it
then
disappears.
Dan Aykroyd shows up, and they all drink vodka
Wow.
because it would have made just as much sense.
Yep. But there's something about these ones where, since we're already talking about religious artifacts, the whole world already kind of lives in this religion is real type of scenario,
Yeah.
which is, I can buy it way easier. And especially because in this one, it only lasts, like the actual religious part lasts for like 10 to 20
Yeah,
seconds.
but what's fun is it's just the ancient history parts of it that are real, or different parts of it that it just meshes so well. I don't know. Well, we need to maybe pause for a moment.
I just
and-
jumped right
and
in. Who
ask-
hasn't seen this one?
Well, right, exactly.
right, I
That's what
didn't.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I didn't see
So
it.
I think before we all go into it, we should gauge what the noob has
He doesn't
to
sound
say about
happy.
this film.
He doesn't sound too
I
happy.
don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at him.
I'm not unhappy.
Oh, okay.
At all.
You're middling.
I think it's tough. I think I would have loved to see this as a younger person.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It scared me as a kid. Those ending scenes terrified
I just
me.
don't know.
I was too young for that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was easy to. It was hard. I was taking it too seriously, and then
Oh.
and that kind of ruined some of it. But not, otherwise, it's a hell of an adventure.
Okay, that's positive. That sounds quite positive. A hell of an
Yeah,
adventure.
I
If
think
you
that-
just took the quote there, that would look really good. But
Yeah.
you're all kind of meandering
No,
around it.
no,
It's sort
no,
of
no.
tempering
I
it,
mean,
yeah.
I think that it was, it's just I'm too old and crotchety, too, moody. I couldn't I didn't I didn't have enough joy in me that day when I watched it.
There is like a youthful spirit to the
Right.
this side of the adventure.
Oh, and you kind of
right?
have to let some things go,
Right.
and it's kind of, it's.
How did they get off that island? Shut up.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
You don't wanna be like,
exactly. Like, we don't need to think it through, right?
There was
Just,
a deleted
just
scene. They
stay
thought
on-
it through. They just deleted the
Just
scene.
stay
Maybe
on
it's
the
deleted, yeah.
stay on the roller
I
coaster.
mean, you got the ark.
Right.
Why do you need to go and open it somewhere else? Why can't you just open it
and
there? You have to go
fuck
to the
is this
mountain. Why do you
guy?
have to go
I
to
don't
the
know who
mountain?
this guy is.
So, get out of here. Whoever that is, get the fuck out of
Whoever
here.
that was, just let him go.
You're not invited.
What? I don't get to do a character.
Not that character.
Well, I don't know who that
yeah.
was. Yeah,
Anyway,
right. That was
all
like the
right.
shady
Just
guy
the really annoying
outside. He was
person
the guy
who's, like,
doing
ruining the
security.
film.
It was
He
Adam
was the guy
Sandler
doing
from
security.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Oh, was it? Oh, shit.
He's the
Ooh.
guy doing security at the site when they're digging. That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
yeah.
No one would
Yeah,
see
yeah.
them. They're not
Hey,
even
no,
hiding.
you can't go over there, guy. You don't want to go that way. No, don't go up there. Hey, I know you got a rope in your hand, but why don't we put the rope down, huh?
Hey, I'll get you some water. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go on then.
There was, I think what was always pretty funny too is that apparently all you need in archaeology is just a little broom because you're gonna find it immediately.
You find a big, like a nice big,
yeah.
like,
You're gonna
big,
walk in
like,
and you're gonna
opening.
know exactly where to look. It's gonna be ooh, I found it. So I think there was just a lot of that going on, which
But also, once you find
was
it,
fun.
you'll break through a wall and realize that one of the walls that was exposed the entire time led directly to the Well of Souls.
So let's just imagine that if you put all that stuff away, it was a good time.
How about let's back up. Like, what about
Right.
the opening sequence?
That opening that might have been the best thing that they had going. I mean, holy shit, was that intense?
That was
wasn't
good,
it?
right? I envy you
Come
seeing
on.
that for the
It's
first time.
perfect. It's the best
Yeah.
opening, like one of the best openings ever.
What I
Just
really
throws you
was
in there.
excited about was that I just went on the ride at Disneyland because I just went to
that's good.
Disneyland with it, and
Yeah.
it was like, oh yeah, I remember this, right?
So you were on the ride being like, what the fuck's going on here? I don't know what this is
that's
from.
true. But I was on the
Yeah.
ride, and when you're waiting in line, there's all sorts of stuff to read, and so I was kind of like piecing together some of the story, and then remembering from the ride, which is interesting. But yeah,
As far as an action film, like best opening sequence, certainly it's up there for an action or maybe
or most suspenseful.
Yeah, it's just so masterfully done as
For
far as like
1980
introducing a character
especially.
and I don't know. Yeah.
You introduced the usefulness of the whip, which, before this movie, I didn't think of a whip as anything.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think
In
that's just
reality,
in the
it's
movie.
not.
Yeah,
but in
right.
this
Yeah, right.
one-
That was George Lucas all the way.
Like there was
he
good reason not to
yeah.
think about, the whip being what it is in this movie. It was long,
Was it?
so it felt long.
Oh.
But not in it just felt like the adventure was going on and on and on. And that, if you're following the adventure and having a great time with it and like letting things go, it's great. If you find yourself not doing that, then there's a lot to pick at.
Yeah, if you want to pick out a way at it.
Yeah, you can. But I didn't want to, and I didn't feel like I needed to. So I still
But you're
enjoyed
still
the
old and tired. and
right.
so-
Exactly. See, John, you
Right?
get it. Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
I get old and
Get it?
tired, man.
Yeah. I
That's
think
my
that,
sweet spot.
I had, by the time, we finished it and I was like, yeah, it was a good movie. I there was just so much to it that was insanely extravagant, and I think that was kind of the most impressive part was just how much thinking they did into what's the craziest thing we can do? Oh, let's put spiders all over his back.
Right.
What's the fucking, what would be down there? Oh, definitely a bunch of snakes. How long have they been down there? Nobody knows.
What are they eating?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Eating each
How
other?
they freaking
Why are they
breathe,
coming
whatever.
through the holes so
Right.
fast? Who's feeding those snakes through?
Right,
That's
right.
what I
They
want
got
to
some
know.
kind of snake water
Yeah,
park back
is there
there where they're
bait?
coming
Snake
down the
bait?
slides.
Yeah,
just
what is
having a
going
good
on
time.
over there? Seriously,
This
who's
is like
throwing
Snake
them through?
Wonderland.
But someone was throwing them through.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So yeah, I thought it was. I definitely don't advise kids to watch it.
No, they should.
Not really young
mean,
kids, but
yeah,
I
they
think
should.
I think old enough, it's awesome. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like
right,
Just, it's
right.
like a thrill
But there
ride,
is some
you know?
there is some stuff in there that if you were young, you'd be freaking the
No,
fuck
I was
out.
too young. I was too young for face melting.
I didn't like the
Oh my
spiders.
god, That part was fucked up. The face melting was like,
The
Dude.
spiders were not nearly as the face melting messed. I remember that vividly, seeing that as a kid and being really freaked out. By
it
the
was
face
still
melting.
freaky.
You know what? So the face
So-
melting part, they almost get an R rating for one of the 3 shots. So there's 3 dudes who die in that scene. All
Right.
of them die, but there's 3 like head
Well, one
shots.
dude like blows up at you,
right.
Evil
So the
Dead
guy,
style.
the guy whose head blows up, that got an R rating because initially when the first cut didn't have like a filter of flame. Like right now, you can kind of not see what's going on because they put flame in front of them.
Oh,
But it was just
okay.
a
So
clear
they
shot
kind
of this
fuzzed it
dude's
out a
head
little.
blowing up, and it was in the
Okay.
movie. And they're like, "Holy shit, no, that's rated
Spielberg
R."
always
Wow.
pushing that. Like he's always
Yeah.
wanting that. Like, yeah, it's for kids, but it's
Yeah.
nasty.
But it's also about death or cheating on your spouse or,
that's right.
you know,
You
what
saying a
else can we
4-year-old
add
can't
in?
handle a head exploding? Come on, they can handle it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that's right.
Look,
You
if
good.
they can handle divorce, they can handle
Dude,
the head
I was doing
exploding,
that
you know?
when I was 5. I was
Right.
making my own movies. I was blowing shit up.
Yeah.
We had,
And
we had a
then
morgue
someone
next
else was like,
door.
and there's something wrong with you. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's arm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because like the
That's
face,
right.
none of this. I saw this very young too. This like some of my first movie memories were these movies.
This would have probably been PG-13, I
Yeah,
imagine.
this and Temple of
This
Doom
again.
were some of the reasons they created
Oh,
PG-13.
Temple of Doom. Holy
That was
shit,
also
yeah.
PG, and that was even worse than this one because there's a scene.
No, Temple of Doom was worse.
Have
The
you
heart-
seen that one, TC?
No.
There's a scene where
Oh.
you see a guy stick his hand through a dude's chest. There's no cutting or anything. It looks real, and pulls his heart out, and it's beating.
Oh,
And the
no.
guy's just like screaming the entire time. It's so super fucked up,
Yeah.
Wow.
terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, I'm glad, it's one of those ones that I've heard about for so long. And so it's good to have it just checked off the box.
You're right,
you
though.
know.
This might be a nostalgia pick as well.
I definitely
don't
think I
sub-
would have had this better a time if
Yeah.
I was fucking 14.
or even
You know,
maybe
15.
even late
Six.
teens or something. Whatever.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
then, just like
Yeah.
young and enthusiastic,
And just like
you know,
able to let go of like, real life
yeah.
and just being like, let's take a ride on this fucking
I mean, the
adventure
casting
train.
is awesome, right?
I mean,
the-
how good looking was for Harrison Ford, though, huh?
Right?
Jesus.
No, and unlike Star Wars, right? I mean, he really, he wasn't necessarily made to look good in Star Wars, but in this one, yeah, he's damn sexy, right?
I know, that motherfucker. Thanks for nothing.
But also just the rest of the casting, like Jonathan Rhys-Davies is awesome. Marion, what's her name?
Karen
What's
Allen?
Karen Allen was just a great character, like the way that they were like. What did he do to Marion before?
Don't
Do you
ask.
know?
We
Is
can't
there
talk
any
about it. Nope,
backstory?
don't talk about it. She was a child then. It's not appropriate to talk about in a podcast.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow, that bad,
He
huh?
slept
I
with
thought
her.
maybe
He slept with her when she was a
Oh.
kid.
and left her when she
And
was
left
like,
her, yeah.
12 or whatever.
There were scenes that expanded on that whole storyline, but they cut it out.
they did, and it was oh god.
She was
And he's
15
like-
and he was 25. That was
And he's
the,
like, yeah, I did what I did. It was in the
He's
past.
like, yeah,
How many
that's
times
in
can I
the
say
past.
I'm sorry?
yeah.
I said it 3 times. Doesn't that count? Is that enough for how many sorries do
Wow.
you need for pedophilia? Oh, Jesus
Wow.
Christ. God
well,
damn it,
in
Indy.
Hollywood, apparently not that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it depends how much money you make, I guess.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. It depends on how much you can bill.
Where are you in the hierarchy? But,
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. Shit. Yeah. That doesn't play well. It's sort of good they left those deleted scenes out.
It plays
You
good
can
enough.
sort of-
You don't know really what's
You
going on.
don't really ask either.
Yeah.
I didn't really, I just figured they had a bad falling out. You don't really even
exactly.
think about
you
it.
could
Yeah.
think that what happened was that he like chose his career or what he was going after over her, just like he did, which was also awesome. When he leaves her in Belloq's tent, he chooses like, oh no, this is not the right time for me to rescue you. And she's like, fuck, you're doing this again. so I prefer to think that was more of the scenario, that where he chose like his profession, his love of or his desire to get whatever he is that he's after over like the relationship. But-
Well, he did.
Well, that's what he did.
I
Yeah.
mean-
yeah. Right.
well, the thing about that is he did do that. Yeah.
Right. But yeah,
Just
I don't know,
what
but-
you're thinking of as the relationship is
But
different.
not
without
what
the
you're.
sleeping
Yeah,
with
right.
the kid part, without
Right.
that part, that's all. I would prefer to not be having.
That's such
that
a
part
weird
in there.
thing to have in the story.
yeah.
Yeah.
They also had there's a deleted scene too that when he was talking to Marcus in his house and he was in a bathrobe. They had a cutout portion of that where there was a woman leaving his house. That's why he was in a bathrobe, because he just fucked some woman. Because part of his character
Oh.
in the script and during filming was that he was like, they called him worldly, which means
Oh, is that what that
man
means?
slut. I don't
The
know.
idea was this
Yeah,
guy was like
worldly. Gets around.
Again,
Yeah.
when you hear George Lucas pitch this, it's like he's James Bond. And that's the same kind of thing. Like he's handsome. He is really good at shooting people, killing people, getting the job done, and he sleeps with everybody. Like so, it was kind of this
classic
idea
Hollywood,
that he was right.
But also
Yeah.
the Indiana Jones character, Bond always gets away and barely tries. Indiana Jones is trying and he almost
that's
fails
true.
frequently, and it's
That's
really
true.
entertaining
That's what
to watch.
Harrison
And it
Ford is
looks
so good
clumsy sometimes.
Yeah.
with him.
He's so good at like suffering through this stuff.
It's funny still, like when
fantastic
he's
at
being
it.
called from the giant Nazi guy without the shirt on, the bald head, and the guy's like telling him to come down to fight him, and he just like gives him. He's like, all right,
No,
I'm
it's
coming.
beautiful. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is my life.
It's so good.
You're right. He's amazing at that role. Like it's hard to imagine anybody else doing that better. Where he's insanely handsome, very skilled, and yet he's like worn out and had enough of it. You know, like so he's still like the noir sort of like beat down detective or whatever. Yeah, it's hard to imagine somebody doing that better than the way he does that.
Do you know who almost was cast?
Tom Selleck, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The mustache.
They did
Selleck,
screen
huh?
tests, and you can watch the screen
Jesse
tests.
Stone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't look the same. I'm sure he would have been fine, but
No, Tom
looks
Selleck's
weird.
really good, right? It might have worked out, but I don't know.
he got pulled
He's-
away to do Magnum PI. That's why he.
Which good for him. That was career defining for him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
He's
And
making
then
the money
from
anyway.
Magnum
Either
PI
way.
to Blue Bloods.
Oh, yeah, he did good.
And I think
Yeah.
right now, isn't he? Doesn't he have a better career than
No,
Harrison
he's
Ford?
in Blue Bloods, like
He's
you said.
Blue Bloods.
He's
Yeah.
doing a ton. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
He
still got
makes-
that iconic mustache.
Yeah.
Let's see
And
how
then
much
Ford's
he makes
doing the
per
friggin'
episode.
Fifth Indiana Jones
in the
movie.
screen test, did he have the mustache?
Yes,
Is
he
Indy
did.
Or no? Yeah, okay. So Indy would have had a
He's
mustache.
not shaving
there.
that thing off. Are you kidding me? Come on.
I guess not. It's gold. It's probably insured, I'm sure. But yeah, it's cool.
Haven't we
probably
talked
is.
about the insurance
Trademark.
on Tom Selleck's mustache before?
No,
I'm
but
pretty sure we have.
Sure.
I don't know when we would have brought up Tom Selleck.
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure he's
We've
in
talked
these
about
movies.
insurance for hair for some other thing, but I forget. I was making a joke about it. What else do you got, TC?
What'd you think about the score?
What I think about
Unremarkable,
what?
unmemorable, apparently.
The score, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't really. I wasn't really paying attention.
Oh, really? You don't? The score is.
I had it up really
amazing.
loud too. I don't know. There's just a lot of visual stuff going on. So if you're not paying attention, someone's behind you.
Oh, that's. I'm married. That's Nikki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's nice.
Are you not in the basement today?
I am in the basement. I don't know what Nikki's doing in the basement.
Nikki,
It's
you're distracting
unusual.
all of us.
Nikki.
Yeah.
All right, Nikki, you ruined the podcast. It's just ruined. It's all ruined. It's all gone now. Thank you.
Married life.
Oh, awesome. Well, then what are you doing? She's getting milk, everybody.
Oh,
Like,
Oh, well,
Thanks
that's
for the update.
important.
Danny and T. Look, see?
Yeah. Hi.
Hey guys.
Good job
Yeah.
getting milk.
that was a nice little diversion. Score.
Yeah, the score.
Score.
I didn't really pay
No?
attention to it.
But dun 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 dun. No.
Yeah, I mean, like you know, you hear it a
You
bunch.
already know that, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
that-
think
that's
I've
like-
overheard it already.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, this was tough to watch later. I missed the boat.
One thing I did notice
You
that
know,
I
I
hadn't
missed the
noticed
boat.
before was how freaking similar when he thinks Marion's dead.
Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Yep.
Total Star
Dude, it
Wars.
was 100%
that one-
Star Wars.
Right, that one sequence where
Yep.
it's like the love
Towards
theme
the
from
end.
Star Wars. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yep.
Right?
I was like, did they
Wow.
just rip this off totally from
Yeah,
Star
I guess
Wars?
So John's like, fuck it, I've already done enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And everybody else
It
is
worked.
like, yeah, you have, John. You're good. You're fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry, man. You've already,
I mean,
you're golden.
This wasn't like for me. It wasn't auditory. This movie was so visual. There was just so much going on screen. I wasn't
Yeah,
even
there
paying
was,
attention.
but the audio was like it was almost like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
But maybe that's what
the,
it was.
The
good
audio
for.
was like punctuating
it kept
everything.
It kept me not thinking about it and looking right on the screen. you
Right,
know?
but
I don't know.
it's like totally punctuating the hits. It's
Oh, it was
like
great.
the movement, everything. Like the audio, the
Yeah.
score is like
The Indiana Jones
But I don't-
punches are the best.
It's great.
punches
It was
ever.
great. It was like huge and like but I don't know why I don't really remember it. Maybe it's just because I did not.
well, maybe
thinking
it
about
blends well. It does.
Yeah,
you know.
right.
It wasn't
Like I wasn't thinking about it because I was just watching, and
Right.
like so maybe that was exactly what I was supposed to do. I don't know. For me anyway,
That's a good way to watch something.
yeah. I was like I said, I didn't have a bad time at all. I was along for the ride once I started to accept it and
Yeah.
stopped.
You just
trying
wish
to,
you were
like,
younger the
figure it
entire
out.
time you were watching
younger.
it.
Yeah, I know. Just more enthusiastic.
1,000% it. I was trying to avoid stating it and
No.
saying it out loud, but yes,
There-
that
it
is
sad.
100%.
There's some things that are. It's like it's better to be, and it's also better to be there when it's big. You know.
I know, like you've missed all
It's
the.
still big, man. There's new one in theaters
Like,
right
and-
now.
and
Come
you
on.
know what
I'm
sucks
just saying. I'm
is
saying
I'm
that
doing a
release
lot of this in life now too, because
Yeah.
I'm just middle aged, right? So I'm having these moments. But like, I'm going to Vegas for my birthday for the first time. Never
nice.
been to Vegas. 39 years old. First time going to Vegas.
I've never been to
great.
Vegas. What does that
You
even
probably
mean?
should
Who cares?
prepare
Yeah,
yourself.
I've never been. Well, the thing is I'm going and I'm not going to be like drinking. So like, there's,
Oh, God.
so I'm
Are you gonna be
enjoying.
gambling?
But
What
again,
are you going
there's
to do?
there's gonna just go sort of see the place.
You can see the place. The show.
Yeah.
Some of the shows are good.
shows.
I
I'm
guess,
just walk to see the whole thing. You know, the whole tourist thing.
having been to Vegas my parents live in Mesquite, so it's like not far out of Vegas. Having been there many times, it's actually quite depressing.
Oh,
But,
well, it's for 2 days, so we'll have fun. You know?
You're good. Where do you
Yeah.
get? Do you
We're gonna get a nice hotel with
place?
a balcony.
Oh,
and
it'll
like,
be
yeah.
fun. You'll have fun. You'll have
Yeah.
fun.
We're gonna have the resort, the big resort
Oh,
feel,
no,
the whole
you'll
thing.
enjoy it.
Are you going to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
Lady
it'll be fun.
Gaga?
No, I don't know what
You
I'm
see
gonna look
Adele?
at shows. I have to see. No, it's too expensive.
Oh.
We're gonna look at shows, and I'm gonna figure something. But the point is I'm having these moments where like, now I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna drink, which is a whole new experience. But
It
it's
is, I
definitely
know.
one of a younger man's game when you're thinking about it. Like,
that's tough in Vegas because you just walk
yeah.
around. That's what part of the.
I mean, you know, there's a slight chance I might have a few. We'll see, but we're trying not to. We're trying
Careful,
our best
buddy.
to make. Yeah,
All right,
right.
all right. We're rooting
Exactly.
for you, TC. Be careful.
So the point is that I'm making these, you know, I'm watching things from a while ago. I'm going to places, you know, because I'm almost middle aged here, and you know, there is some of that going on with this movie. It's like, man, I missed. How did I miss this? Another one, Star Wars. This one, like I missed this shit. So there
If
is
you're
some of that
12 years
going
old
on.
and pissed at people who are nerds and be like, I don't want to be
That's
that.
right. Hey,
Right, I was a guitar player. I was like, I'm fucking rocking out, you know.
Whether
and
you like it or
then,
not,
you know.
now TC, you're here for the Spider-Verse. So
Well, that's
even
true.
if you don't like it,
Yeah,
there you
you're
go.
still involved.
There you go. Yeah,
right,
you might not.
right.
You
And
might
you're
be
here for
annoyed
Dune.
by it, but here
Yeah,
you
well,
are.
that's true. And I'm witnessing AI.
And you're here for
so
Dune,
there
and
you
we're
go.
going to make
All
you
right.
watch the next one. We're all going to go to the theaters to see that one.
Yeah, right. So anyway, that's. I think I'm done. I mean, I don't have much else to say about it. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad it's finally been seen. I don't know if we're watching the other ones or not, but
Nope.
Yeah.
We already watched the third one like
Yeah,
years
we
ago
watched
at this
a
point.
while
Yeah, we
ago.
watched The Last
yeah.
Crusade.
But then maybe I'll watch the second one on my own and
You should.
see what
It's
it
worth
is.
it.
Yeah. Because I think my girlfriend would like it too. Because I mean, we watched this one together, and she didn't dislike it either. Right? Wasn't like, oh my god.
The second
but
one is even like just crazier.
That's cool.
And it's just whack. The second one, like, don't even bother to take it seriously.
It's turned
even-
up to 11.
One thing that is kind of cool would be cool to see it now in the context of modern times is seeing Short Round, who grew up to be the guy in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh right, right.
So that'll be kind of fun for you to see that.
See him like, yeah, right. Be like, oh my god, look at him.
He's got the same voice. What the fuck?
It's
Yeah.
the same freaking voice.
Yeah,
I know,
it's
it's
so
awesome.
weird.
But that one is just a good time too. But it's even more like unbelievable, off the rails, crazy, silly.
Nice.
So
nice. Well, yeah, maybe I'll check it out. I mean,
Yeah.
this was definitely one to everyone should see in their.
Mhm.
It's just got a lot of cool premise, and it's got a lot of
cool
adventure.
premise, amazing character actors in it.
Yeah.
Amazing like action sequences, whether it's believable or not. That's just, if you throw that out the window and just like are able to like roll along with the enthusiasm, it's just pretty cool.
Yeah. Right. What do you got, Danny?
But yeah,
I agree. I mean, the stunts in this movie are crazy.
it's true.
The entire time I was watching this, it's been a while since I've watched this movie. I couldn't tell if I was blinded by nostalgia or if it's like just some of the best stuff I've ever seen, because some of it is so iconic in my head, just in terms of thinking about some of the best shots in movies. The scene where they're running away from the plane and like the oil tanker blows up and then the plane blows up is just, it looks so good. The scene where he thinks Miriam is in the back of the truck and it blows up,
Right.
and it's like he's right in the foreground and his
Right.
face like covers half the screen, and that is an amazing
That
shot.
has not aged a bit.
No,
right?
those were very good. Yeah.
Those action sequences have not aged a bit.
No, that was
The
professionally
scene where the guy
done,
swings his sword
high
around
budget.
and he just looks pissed and
Yeah.
shoots him without even like considering it. That's so good.
Oh, that was great. Was that not the best like swagger you've seen on
Yeah.
a movie ever?
He's like,
He's
I don't
like,
have time for this.
okay,
Bang.
guy. All right,
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, here's
Yeah.
your fucking sword.
But you're going to
See
tell
ya.
us the lore behind that scene, right, Denny?
Oh yeah, yeah. He was.
What
he
is
had,
it?
He had food poisoning that day. They were planning on doing a whole sword to sword fight. So Indiana was going to have a sword, but he was sick, as every single other person on this movie was for the
Oh,
majority of the
fuck.
shoot in Tunisia, except for Spielberg, because he brought cans of his own SpaghettiOs, and he exclusively ate SpaghettiOs out of a can because
no way.
Yeah, because they had already filmed in Tunisia. This is where they filmed a lot of the Star Wars stuff. And George Lucas told him that like, don't eat the food there, don't touch anything. It's like it's not disgusting, but you will get sick as a foreigner. You will get sick, and everyone else did, and everyone else got sick. And what's his name? John Rhys-Davies. There was a day. John Rhys-Davies. Gimli. There was a day where he was doing some action where he had to bend down on set, and he was so sick that he shat. He said he shat his whatever the pants were called in front of 200 people. Just completely. He actually said he filled his pants, is what he said.
Oh, Jesus!
So he was sick there. But the day they were supposed to do the sword fight scene, Harrison Ford was so sick that they couldn't get it. Like, and all like a lot of the stunt guys were sick. Like a lot of the crew is sick too. So like they were having a really hard time like getting things to work. So they're just like, I think Harrison Ford suggested it. He was just like, what if I just shoot him? And Spielberg's like, perfect. That's perfect. He shot him like twice. And it was it. Yeah.
But his expression, and again, and maybe it's part of why he comes across so well as so harassed. Maybe it's because he's like in agony and miserable
a lot of the time.
Right.
But the plane ran him over. He fucked up his leg. He pulled a tendon in his leg. And they were outside of Tunisia. And Harrison was like, I'm not going anywhere, any hospitals in this place. So they just wrapped it up with ice, and they continued filming with him with a fucked up leg. People got bit by snakes. You know,
after thousands of snakes.
You'd have to imagine that someone was handling all those snakes, right?
Everyone was handling. Everybody on the crew was assigned to get the snakes. Are we in trivia now, or we still want to talk about
them? Let's talk about our thoughts first, so we can move to like Denny. Tell us some more.
I want trivia. I'm already invested now. What is it?
There's a lot of trivia.
There's the art of the interleave, which is always good.
Yes. So TC, this is a Ben Burt. Just to give you a little bit of a carrot on a stick here. The guy
Ben Burt.
Ben Burt. The guy
I know, our sound guy from Star Wars. Our sound guy.
Right? He did this movie too. So the Star Wars sound guy also worked on this, and there's a bunch of good sound trivia.
He did snake sounds?
He did snake sounds. Trying to think of a guess on how you would possibly make snake sounds. It's two things combined, and you will never guess in 1,000 years. Not a chance.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
then you got to tell us. What is it?
No, I'm not telling you till later.
No.
All right.
I see what you started, John.
So this. No, I'm not going to tell you now. I'll tell you later.
You're fine.
Yeah, I think the only bad thing, and it's not even that bad, I 100% agree with TC, there are parts that are just kind of stupid, for lack of a better word, but it's not in a bad way, but it's just like, you know, the one that really stuck out to me this time is they're all excavating for the Well of Souls, right? They have, first, I mean, now I'm just going backwards. They have the room where you put the medallion on the thing, and it shows you where the thing is.
Right.
It's a very important room. It's the one important room.
The thing. So you put the medallion.
You put the thing on the stick, and the light comes through, and it shines in the little model city and tells you where to dig. They have that room. It's the most important room they've discovered yet. It is the only room they have found that is important. And what do they do with it? They don't guard it. They don't look at anybody.
They don't put anybody next to it.
The people that are digging are 100 feet away and are visible all fucking day, and then no one does anything until it doesn't even make sense when they come.
But that scene where he's there robed up with the stick, it awesome.
Looks amazing.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's silly when you think about it. It's silly when they like discover the Well of Souls. They've got the Ark there, and they're just gonna like shut them up in there, as opposed to like, no, this is an archaeological find. We're gonna like investigate this. Look at all these statues. There's other things in here. But no, we're gonna shut them up.
Also, you're talking about Harrison Ford or Indiana Jones, who is this archaeologist who wants, I think, to preserve history. And what does he do to get an individual item from any tomb? He destroys the tombs left and right. All these things that are of equal importance, most likely. Remorse, right? He does it all the time.
Yeah. He just wrecks shit.
That's also stupid, but I don't care. It's so much fun watching him just like, it's like, you know, the Uncharted movie or video games, not the movie, probably the movie too. But Nathan Drake, those video games are some of the best games ever. And
no. I
those
will flatly disagree with you.
You can disagree all you want. Those games are awesome.
I'll tell you that the cinematics and the acting is awesome in those games. The gameplay sucks. I just hate like that you're like shooting like tens of thousands of people. It just gets
this
really
movie.
annoying.
He kills a lot of people in this movie.
That's true too. Right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
It's the same kind of
It's
thing.
just like
He's a good-looking
But
swashbuckler.
then
who,
somehow, like the one person dies, and there's emotion now.
yeah.
Some one person I cared about died, or maybe died. Now I feel bad. And then we're back to killing everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my point stands, right?
Yeah.
Uncharted is Indiana Jones, and those games are great.
Kind of. No, certainly those games are like that's what they're trying to.
The Lucas
capture.
Arts Indiana Jones game from the 80s. You ever play that one? That was really a
which
point-and-click
one?
adventure game.
Yeah.
That game was awesome.
Was it the Fate of Atlantis? I
Yes,
think.
Fate of Atlantis.
Yeah, that was good.
That game was awesome growing up. Yeah, it's just really hard to like watch this movie, remember every single second of it happening, and then trying to disassociate myself, my own opinion, to be like, is this, not that it matters, but is this good beyond nostalgia? Would I like this now if I would have watched it for the first time?
Part of it. That's part of it. It's like who you are, where you're at when you watch something and experience something. That's part of the whole thing. It is. Right?
It is.
So you don't have to separate it. You can appreciate.
No, but I have an easier time with something like 2001 or Big Lebowski or one of those
There's
movies.
some things that maybe you can separate from where you are, from the context, right? And just say, no, this is fucking timeless. This separates itself from whatever context you're coming to it with, and it's just fucking brilliant, a work of art. TC says it really well too. Like, if you were younger and enthusiastic, that's where the connection there is with this movie. I agree. Like when you're being a young kid and being enthusiastic in the sense of adventure and the sense of exploration and discovery, that is what this captures, the sense of adventure. That's the word, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
that's
yeah.
and then I think maybe it also was a bad timing because I just went to Disneyland.
Right.
And
Well, you
that
saw
I
that,
felt
So you were
joy
adventured
again.
out.
You're like feel like a little kid
know
when you're riding
adventure,
around,
virtually,
and you're
yeah,
like,
paid a
I'll go
lot
on the
for
next
it.
ride, sure. I felt like a little little toddler running around that place, and then you watch a movie and you're like, that would have been nice being younger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't get that at the
Oh,
theme
well.
park. That's good.
Womp womp.
You weren't like
I'm
walking
old.
around the theme park being like, well, I wish I was younger so I could enjoy this. It sounds
No,
like you
I was
enjoyed it
having
anyway.
a fucking blast. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, I think I would have liked to have. I was upset I missed this one.
Yeah.
But anyway,
What else could you gush on in a movie? I don't know. I'm trying to think. We talked about almost everything.
I love the cast. I love Karen Allen as Marion. I love the initial bar scene, their interactions, all these sequences. The action sequences are fantastic. I mean, how they get from one to the next, you could sit there and go like, why did that happen? And then you could be annoyed.
Right.
But the action sequences are great. And again, just one more time, say John Rhys-Davies is awesome. He's just great as a character actor. He's just so like boisterous. And so
I am the Sultan of the Sea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
But Karen
yeah.
Allen is great. I love this antagonistic relationship she has with Jones. She does it perfectly, like a fighter herself. The whole drinking sequence is really good too. Like where we introduce her character, and you see her like beating this.
There's no
big guy
chance
in a
she could drink
drinking
another
fountain.
person under the table. Zero chance.
I don't know.
No,
but
no,
I don't-
not
I
that
don't-
body
guy.
mass.
That guy
You're right,
definitely
you're right.
boozes
But
too.
Yeah.
Once you think about, you think about her body mass. No, but that's not the point. The point is like that she's just incredibly tough in her own way, and that's great. The bad guy, the what's his name? Ronald Lacey is awesome as a
The
bad
scary
guy.
Nazi guy.
Scary Nazi guy
Yeah,
is
he's
just
so good.
disgusting.
Yeah.
He's just so like hateable.
I know.
And so again, you have these, and Bullock as this like refined British gentleman enemy of Indy is also wonderful. The way that's done, the way they have.
I like it how
Indy's
him
just like-
and Karen
Right.
Allen become friends, sort of, after they get drunk. That's pretty fun.
Right. It's fun, but also the interactions between Ford and Bullock, or Paul Freeman, where it's just like he's like all being proper British, my great adversary, whatever. And he's just like annoyed, like he's just pissed. That interaction is awesome. I mean, the way they set up the characters as they are and how they interact with each other is awesome. How they get from scene to scene again is ridiculous if you think about it. And that, again, as you get older, maybe that's annoying, but man, just the interactions are also really good. But also this is just so carried by Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it is.
As far as like his expressions that he's this suffering hero, he does it better than anybody else does it. I think. I mean, as far as like he's incredibly
Even when he's being a
competent.
prick, you still feel bad
he's
for him.
smart. Yeah,
Right,
he's an
yeah.
asshole, but yet he's also like suffering greatly. He's like getting shot, beat, whatever. It's like the Die Hard. It's like Bruce Willis, right? But this is so much better than that. This is so much elevated than that. Again, Die Hard's awesome, and we love that film too. But it's that kind of feeling of it. Like you have this like sort of like beat up hero.
He's not invincible, right? He's not like James Bond, where James Bond literally never gets hurt, right?
Right. No,
he's always wearing
like,
a clean suit
exactly.
and stuff.
Right, and he's like idiotically saying, "I'm James Bond, super spy. Hi."
Yeah,
right. Announcing his freaking presence to everybody because he's invincible. Right. So it really was of its time in the sense of I think that I really appreciated seeing this when I was younger. This one really hit me when I was younger. I'm not sure, like I really get it when TC says, wanting to see this when you're younger, when you're enthusiastic, when you had that sense of adventure. Yep. It makes me think I need to show it to the kids, not before they're too old, but not before they're going to like be scarred for life because faces are melting.
Yeah. Yeah, or find the edited version.
Damn it, Spielberg! You make it a difficult line to walk.
I
know, do the John
right?
cut. You could just like cut out that scene or digitally now.
Take a break right here, and then we're gonna go get ice cream. Then
we're gonna get ice cream
forward.
Yeah, and then they open the thing and
up.
And
you guys ready?
Over.
Play.
Yeah,
right.
You could probably just end the movie early. My parents used to show me The Sound of Music when I was really young, and they stopped it before the Nazis came. So I thought it was like an hour-long movie that was all about kids dancing in a house.
But there's so many, there's so many great sequences of Harrison reacting over and over again. He does this so well. He's trying to get his uniform on. His uniform doesn't fit when he's like in the submarine base, right? And he's just all pissed off about that. And then the other Nazi comes over and starts like dressing him down because he's not like
not
looking good.
Right.
And that whole like sequence is so good, mainly because Harrison Ford's expression is so awesome to watch, where he's just like so like he's like, screw this, I'm just gonna like beat the shit out of this guy now. Okay. It's really cool.
The comedy in this movie, that's something no one's really mentioned. I'm still laughing at a lot of the lines in this movie. There's a ton of funny lines in this.
Yeah, it's delivered really well. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very dangerous. You go first.
You go first. Again, another like John Rhys-Davies doing an amazing job as his character, right? Like just, I don't know, very charismatic. All three of the leads are like really, really fun to watch.
100% agreed.
And Ronald Lacey as the bad German. Totally fun to watch too in an opposite way because he's so terrifying yucky.
Ronald Lacey, he almost quit acting apparently.
Oh, did he? What else has he done?
He had a bit of a career after this, but looking at this guy normally, find a picture of him not in that outfit and he looks totally different.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine. I mean, he was over the top, right? I mean,
he is, when I think of like Nazi torturers, this guy is who I think of.
Yeah, it's this guy, right?
How do light traps work? That was a question I had.
Light traps? Oh.
Yeah, you go on the light and then the trap is set. How does that work? They have photo centers back in the, whenever this was supposed to be built. Doesn't seem realistic.
Question, and probably one we should probably just move on from. Really,
exactly. See, these are the things you don't answer that question.
Wouldn't the light trap, the zone, change as the day went on? I think yes.
That's true. Like even when it was nighttime, it's like, time to activate the trap.
Yep.
Right. Good
time to activate the trap.
Yeah.
I'm just going through my notes here. This might be a second. John, you got anything else?
Did I even have any notes? Nazi monkey was funny.
The monkey heil, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty
Teach
funny.
Your monkey
right?
how to do the Nazi salute, sure.
Right, that was funny. He almost said like Sieg Heil too. He's like,
did he? Okay.
So yeah, the way he went.
Were you sad when he died? Did you care?
How could you not be a little sad when the monkey died?
I mean, he did get, he was a prick, that little fucker.
The sequence by sequence, that was also a really good sequence. Like Harrison Ford, like throwing the date up in the air, him catching it, bad dates.
Yeah.
Awesome. Really, really extremely well done the way that whole sequence plays out. It's like, I feel like
they're trying to get suspense in there. I'm not sure it was that suspenseful. It's like, you can't kill Harrison Ford.
Not necessarily, right, but it just was well done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
but he kept trying to I think they tried to put suspense in that scene because he kept almost eating it, but then he was like, "Oh wait, I have to talk about the plot a little bit more before I eat this steak."
I got to do this. Yeah. I thought I was going to eat a date, but no.
Thought it was funny when he broke the staff in half.
Oh yeah.
Because he broke it in half, so no one could ever figure out how long it was because a broken stick.
I broke
two
That was
pieces.
the whole point. It was how tall it was. So he's going to break it up, but maybe somebody could glue it, I guess.
Yeah, I think glue
Figure it
exists.
out.
in
That's
this
when
universe.
Gorilla Glue
even
actually
back then.
first started.
That's right.
It was,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
their first.
They can figure it out, right?
Their first job.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh no, we'll never fix this. It's
It works
broken in
on
two
ancient
pieces.
artifact staffs and other things, probably.
Right.
But definitely
Alien
at
tape,
least this
just
one.
like it. You know, they had all those things. back
All
then,
of these dig sites have a convenient entrance on the ceiling.
Of
Oh,
course.
very, very true.
This
very
is
true.
the slab you remove.
Well, they got to get the
Remember?
sun in there somehow. Right?
That's right.
So-
I guess so. Yeah, we have the moon roof here.
I thought so. The scene where they were digging, and they're digging on the on top of the Well of Souls in plain sight, and they all have costumes on. But as the day goes on, it starts to get hot, and Harrison Ford takes his costume off and is
Right.
just wearing the
Has his
Indiana
hat.
Jones costume.
He's sitting up there in silhouette because that looks cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you want. Yeah. Belloc's down there going, dun, dun, dun. Do you hear that? Dun, dun, dun. I hear that. That's Indy's theme song.
Nah,
he
he's
must
probably
be
not
nearby. Yeah.
TC, did you have a favorite action scene in the movie? Thinking about one that sticks out the most?
I mean, the ball one was cool, right? I mean, I feel like that's
the whole
probably
intro
everybody's.
running from there. Yeah.
But the idea that they would build that and have it like actually work.
And
Yeah,
not
that's
kill
kinda
anybody
cool.
trying to do this stunt.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
all practical effects too, right? And
Yeah.
it's just, I think it's something like so. The one thing I'll talk about is this story conference transcript that I have, and they talk about how after Star Wars, like Lucas is like, I don't want models. I want practical effects. Basically, is what he's saying.
Why? Models look great.
He's just tired of it. That's all. Not necessarily. that
He
they
wanted to
look
build
bad.
it and see
I
if
don't
it'll
know.
work.
Yeah.
You can't build the ball rolling through. You can't.
Just
I
doesn't
bet you
want, doesn't
can't.
want spaceships, you know. It just wants some down to earth kind of
Some
crap, like a
rocks.
big old rock rolling at the
Smooth
bad,
ass
at the
rock.
good guy, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the submarine scene. That was pretty funny. I thought that when he like swam off the pirate ship to the submarine and it was on
Yeah.
top of the submarine, and then it cut to the little montage of how far the submarine went,
Right.
and then cut
It's
to
a
Harrison Ford being
submarine,
wet,
right?
and you're just be like,
Right.
"What the fuck?
What
He was
just
hanging
happened?
on to the
Yeah,
submarine
right.
that whole
It's
time."
a submarine.
Right.
What did you do? It's like it's a sub. But maybe they should have had it be. a
Did you
boat
swim
because-
that whole way?
Because you know what submarines do, right? They go. The whole point of a submarine is that they go underwater.
There's a deleted
really
scene
far.
from that
Oh.
where Harrison
Oh, yeah.
Ford is holding on for dear life to the periscope. So the
Oh, my
whole
God.
way he was holding on to the periscope.
And then that's where they cut, basically, is they just
Yeah.
entered in when he was there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck it, we're
Yeah.
just going to put him on it.
They don't-
See what happens.
Submarines
Fuck
don't put their
exposure. He'll be fine.
We
Yeah.
know from
We don't need to
Dust that-
explain
that
it,
You
okay?
don't put
We
the
really don't.
periscope up the whole time. You can put that down. You
Nazis
put it
do.
up and down.
Nazis, I think they do, John.
Nazis, they're not
that's
very
pretty
smart,
sure.
I guess. I don't know.
Don't think about it.
Yeah, that's exactly
No,
right.
you
Don't.
You
think
don't.
about
You
it.
don't. You just enjoy like the action as it happens. You know.
I also thought it was funny when they took Marion out of the submarine. She was still wearing that silk nightgown. They didn't give her anything to wear. She wore that
Right.
the entire trip.
Mm-hmm.
A little appeal for your actress. You know.
They did. So she was a pretty strong character, I agree. But
Yeah.
there were about half the movie, she was either wearing that white fancy dress that was eventually,
I know.
a lot of it was ripped
I
off.
know.
And then later on in the movie,
It
she was
feels-
wearing that
it
silk
feels
thing
very
for a while.
opportunistic. It's like, yeah, you're headstrong, but can you be skimpy too?
Yeah.
We want you to be skimpy. That'll have some audience appeal, you know.
Yeah,
if you're skimpy.
you're headstrong, but if you don't mind throwing this on for a bit,
You're a strong woman, but we need to show more leg.
yeah.
You want a little tidbit to hold you over for the trivia? This will be an
yeah.
edit point. But speaking of Marion dresses and potential issues with that, Karen Allen and her stunt double hated the snakes during the snake scene. So
Oh, yeah.
during the parts that required,
Well, I mean, who
Stunt
doesn't
doubles?
hate snakes?
Yeah, who's going to be sitting there being like,
Harrison
oh, this
Ford
is great.
doesn't.
Oh, I'm so glad we're
he
here.
likes the snakes? The snakes
he's
were
totally
cool?
fine with snakes.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting. And probably like rubbing into Marion's face and her stunt double. I don't know what your
Yeah.
problem is.
But
they're awesome. They're
Because
incredible.
Marion's stunt double also didn't want to do it. Another male stunt double shaved his legs, put on a dress, and posed
Oh, really?
as Karen Allen for some of the stunt
wow.
shots during that scene
For the
Wow.
snakes. Oh, cool.
for the snakes.
They're like, we'll pay you an extra $50. It's like, all right, fuck it.
So if you want
Okay.
more leg shaving trivia, stick around for episode part 2. There's lots of
Shave
shaved
leg.
hair
Right.
coming up soon.
I'm going to go get another drink.
All right, I want to pause.
Stop 'em.